So, I was telling you about the Rapist Political Network, and Ted Romanko from the Netflix movie, he's one of the key players in that network. He and the rapist both funded Neil M. Cohen, who was an assemblyman. Neil M. Cohen started the 24/7 law enforcement officer hotline to report child pornography. And this same guy was caught and convicted for distributing child porn from the state legislature. Like, this network that does this kind of shit, they have child sex tourism, sexual abuse, and rape all in common. And the reason for this is that Ted Romanko and his cronies use sexual blackmail and other forms of blackmail and bribery as a carrot and stick scheme. The way it works is if somebody turns against the network, they get exposed, and they lose their career and business opportunities. But if they help the network, they're rewarded with career and business opportunities. Now, there's a guy named Phil Fairbanks who wrote a book that has a bunch of evidence about this. You can find this book on TrueStoryOfKai.com. All right? Ask me later on, I'll give that to you again. But in this book, he has loads of evidence that network has lawyers drugging and raping people, molesting little kids, then receiving only probation. And they keep that shit out of the news.
Right.
They got bribery schemes that steal from and oppress regular New Jerseyans. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Netflix is the subject of one of those. You know that Fort Monmouth deal? I'm going to tell you all about that. Just give me a little bit, all right?
Absolutely.
So another thing they have here, you probably already know about this. Police gangs arrest women on bullshit charges in New Jersey. And they railroad them through the courts so that the cops can rape them and use them as sex slaves at the fucking Edmond Mahon Correctional Facility.
I was just, oh my God, Kai, oh my God, I was just getting ready to say that. I was just getting ready to say, but there's so many fucking women getting raped and abused in that facility and nobody's doing shit about it.
That's because they throw the cops a bone. Like, they give the cops what they want so that the cops can kill investigations.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'm going to tell you more about that. You know who Jeffrey K. Epstein is?
Absolutely.
The guy who's what? You look him up on opensecrets.org. You look up Jeffrey K. Epstein and Jim McGreevey. Because Jim McGreevey got funded by Jeffrey K. Epstein. You know who else funded Jim McGreevey? I'll tell you who. Ted Romanko from the Netflix movie. The rapist himself. They was all at the same Democrat meetings here in New Jersey. I'm talking about Jeffrey K. Epstein, the rapist, and Ted Romanko were all at the same meetings here in New Jersey because they all part of the same network.
Right. Absolutely.
There are many others doing what Epstein did to create blackmail on politicians and officials, and Ted Romanko was just one of them. All right? This network grooms child victims.
Yes.
Which is easy for Ted Romanko because he was the head prosecutor in charge of sex crime investigations. And he founded the Child Victim Advocacy Center. You remember that guy, Neil M. Cohen, the assemblyman? The politician crony who was caught distributing child porn in the New Jersey legislature? They never investigated who he was distributing it to. But he started a 24/7 child porn tip line that's still in place to this day. So any child sex abuse victim in New Jersey has to go through Ted Romanko's network. These child sex abuse victims get brought by those police gangs to house parties, just like what Epstein did.
Yeah.
The child is coerced with threats of being prosecuted for producing child pornography of themselves and made to perform sexual acts with the target judge, lawyer, or politician. And Ted Romanko's network makes pictures and recordings of these sexual acts with children to use as blackmail against those judges, lawyers, and politicians.
Because when I was in college, they had people come on, women that were actually saved from sex trafficking, and they said the same thing you're saying. They said that the reason why they can't, people always say to them, well, why didn't you leave, or why didn't you run, or why didn't you tell? And she said, you don't understand. She said, you don't understand who the hell's in charge here. Who the hell's in charge?
Exactly.
If we run, we're dead. Yep. We're dead.
Yeah, because you got these crooked cops chasing them down. They want to silence them. That's why you find people hung up in the jail cell.
Yep.
That's why you find other cops with their heads blown off in the front seat of the cop car. Like when they have somebody who speaks out against them, not only do they try to silence them, they call them crazy. You know what rape myths are?
No.
Oh, yeah. When they have somebody who levels an accusation of rape or sexual molestation against somebody in power like this, the people in power, they have a certain set of lies, of smear pieces, of things that they say, like, oh, he's crazy. Oh, they wanted to make a smear piece about me, and they pick people willing to lie about me and suppress the truth. All right? Jeff Stricker, you know the Fresno County Sheriff? He wasn't actually at the crime scene. He was never at the crime scene in Fresno. that thing that he said, where he was trying to say in the Netflix movie that it was my fault, he said something entirely different at trial.
Right.
Did you know that?
No.
Stricker said something entirely different up on stand. And another one, all right? Gabriel Francisco. His real name is Gabriel Robert Sanchez. He's a fucking desperate wannabe, yo. Like, he could never get his band on Netflix through actual talent. So as soon as they started asking around Fresno for musicians who played with me, he devised a scheme to get his band on Netflix by making shit up about me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you some of the evidence of my innocence that wasn't shown in the doc. Now I'm pissed off. I just want to let you know I'm not displacing that onto you.
No, I understand.
I do appreciate you giving me an opportunity.
I'd be pissed off too, Kai.
So the carpet underneath the rapist, it had a big stain on it, right?
Right.
And you see, there's red spots where there's blood from the rapist in the fucking carpet, but then there's that great big stain right there. That's my urine. That's how fucking terrified I was when I woke up underneath that piece of shit.
Right.
And they never fucking cut that carpet out. You've done a urinalysis before, I'm sure of it. They test your urine for drugs, but they did not cut out the fucking carpet. They could have. They would have found the rape drugs that he put in my fucking beer.
Right.
They didn't take the glass that I drank the beer from the kitchen. They photographed it, but they didn't fucking take it out. They photographed the pill bottles in the fridge, but they didn't look inside of it. They didn't want to collect evidence of that. The cop in charge of the crime scene was the law client of the rapist. Like, they don't want that shit coming out. The head judge, he was law partners with the rapist. The rapist brother was the chief of police. So all of them, they was in on that shit. They didn't get anybody else to come in, collect evidence. Nah, they want to control that. They want to control that crime scene.
Did you